40 years since George created Star Wars. It was breaking new ground in ways that no one had ever really seen before. Now moving into the next 40 years, every single person is doing their best work, which gives us this incredible opportunity to take us someplace we've never been.
The hardest thing about a trilogy is making sure that each installment earns its way into the story. Starting development on episode 8, it was important to us to really allow the next filmmaker the freedom to create the movie that they wanted to make.
Rian Johnson is really incredible.
And action!
He's such a huge fan. He just had an amazingly good time taking these new characters and some of the legacy characters and moving us to this next place.
My name is Rian Johnson, and I wrote and directed The Last Jedi. For this movie, I wanted to focus on Rey, who really has to figure out who she is and how she fits into this story. When I was a kid, I grew up with Star Wars as a very meaningful thing for me. And working on a Star Wars movie, obviously it's a dream. I tend to work with the same people over and over. Steve Yudlin, my cinematographer, we met at film school. Never thought we'd actually be sitting next to each other on a Star Wars set. My producer, Ron Bergman, we've made all our movies together. We would just be on the set and suddenly make eye contact and just share a "can you believe we're actually here" moment. Star Wars is so much about getting your crew together and getting your friends who you know you're gonna stick with you and have your back and taking on something big. That's what it felt like we were doing with this.
If I can make movies with Ryan for the rest of my life, there's not going to be a happier person. Star Wars introduced me to kind of a world I didn't even know it's possible.
It's also been really exciting to be able to take the ideas that we're putting in these movies, the environments, and some of the character types, and figure out how can we give those to the fans as a real experience. I got to go out to where they're building Galaxy's Edge. Nothing prepared me for the scope and sheer immensity of what's being built out there.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is the single largest land expansion project we've ever created.
Galaxy's Edge is Star Wars come to life, a very immersive experience that will blur the lines between imagination and reality.
I'm Scott Trowbridge, and I oversee the creative for Star Wars in Walt Disney Parks and Resorts around the world. There are a couple of those moments growing up that you just always remember. And for me, one of those was going to see Star Wars in the theaters for the very first time. It took me on a journey to a world that felt so different and so unique from anything I'd seen before. From that day forward, I have always wanted to bring this amazing universe to life. And in 2019, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is giving our guests the opportunity to step inside that Star Wars universe. We are really taking a new approach to what a theme park land can be. You can meet those characters and live your own Star Wars story. One of the ways that we're evolving these theme park experiences is to give guests more of an opportunity to be part of that adventure.
I have an assignment for you.
We're very interested in immersive platforms that are emerging, like VR, and really the opportunity that we had with The Void was to give you an immersive experience that makes you feel like you're living out your Star Wars fantasy.
It's out! Looks like you'll have to fight your way out.
A great, fun, energized experience. 4 at a time can go through this.
You must work together. You must not fail.
You'll make a journey into Mustafar is from your point of view. You're making the choices of what you want to look at.
And also interact with some characters that you already know and love.
One of the things that's very unique about the Lucasfilm approach to storytelling is the amazing way all the stories tie together. Whether they come from a film, an animated series, or a book, or what we're doing in the parks, or a video game, The story team does such an amazing job weaving all of those stories together.
The Lucasfilm Story Group, we are a team that's responsible for overseeing development of all of those narrative stories, making sure that they exist within the Star Wars continuity, and all work together in conjunction for future development as well. Battlefront 2, we want to tell this story from the perspective of the Empire. We want to give people something they haven't seen, what happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. We're going to see it from the point of view of a character like Iden.
Impossible.
A tried and true Imperial, which is going to provide a unique perspective.
The Empire's time has come.
Star Wars, what people always be looking forward to be excited, that it feels new.
So this is where I have to tell you, Season 4 is the final season of Star Wars Rebels.
I am Dave Filoni, the executive producer of Star Wars Rebels. It was the right time to end Rebels. On one level, it's sad because I really love making the show, but it's necessary. You've started telling this story and you owe the audience an ending.
We never imagined it would end like this.
They're going to get answers to things that they've wondered about these characters. I tried to make it the most Star Wars epic ending that I can for this series. I'm very proud of it, and I hope people enjoy it. And it gives our division and animation room to be developing even more things in the future.
I'm Carrie Beck, Vice President of Animation Development. I work on all of our animated series.
Hang on!
Carrie Beck, she loves Star Wars as much as we all do.
I love the way that Star Wars is able to speak to the hero within all of us. There was nothing as powerful as the first moment that you saw Princess Leia on screen standing up to Darth Vader. And all of our series is a new opportunity to engage an audience with these characters.
No!
Star Wars Forces and Destiny, we get to see the smaller moments between the larger stories with characters like Rey and Leia and Jin and Sabine.
We make a good team.
What we're focusing on more than ever is creating so many female characters who are becoming so beloved, characters who are ethnically diverse, really sending that message that Star Wars is for everyone. I couldn't be more proud of it.
This has always been a generational brand, something that parents can go to with their kids. What we're excited about with now getting into the new generation of Star Wars, we want to push the boundaries, try new things. And what better way to do that than inside the Star Wars universe?
You are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.